Welcome, one and all, back to the FIMU Alpha Overwatch League, season number 2 of Overwatch 2. It's the 5th month, the first day, the 5th week, the first game. Drunk Rat behind the mic, joined tonight by Stack Monster here in the booth. What's poppin' behind the cams? Stack, how are you this evening, my friend?
I am doing fantastic. How are you, Dan?
I am just wonderful. Glad to be here to see the Hefty Boys versus the Guardians of the Gritty. I'm sorry, Hefty Boys, you didn't get it just because I don't know, something about Guardians of the Gritty. I mean, Gritty's in the name, right? You get it just got to give it a little Guardians of the Gritty. But there's going to be quite a matchup here tonight as we get the lineups slowly but surely into their correct position. What's going to be the first map and or map type of the game? I apologize, Tech. I'm as you know, as my captain, I've only recently attended my first match of the season, but have tuned in a few times now and again. I'm not up to date 100% on our map selection as things are going.
Right. So we're waiting on the coin toss right now. Looks like Bang on My Drums has lost the coin toss. So the choice of map will go to the Hefty Boys. And they will choose on our pool from our pool of control point maps, which this week would be Nepal, Antarctic Peninsula, and Busan. Those are the options.
Oh, interesting choices there. I'm not familiar enough with Fish or Ziggy from the Hefty Boys to know what strengths they might add on a map like Busan. I am curious if Hefty Boys might be interested in the Peninsula, primarily because I know Hefty is such a fan of the tank lineup such as Reinhardt or Winston. I feel like both are quite strong there. Ramatra can get a little bit of work. I'll be curious to see what it is Guardians of the Gritty bring to the fight, no matter where things end up here. Both teams looking pretty flexible from what I know about our lineups so far. Do you happen to know either team's record so far this season, Stack?
No, but I can surely find it or an approximation of it. So after 3 weeks, so not including last week's game, the Hefty Boys have a record of 1-2. The other team, that's Guardians of the Gritty, right?
Yes, indeed.
They were 2-1 at the end of week 3. So both middle of the table teams.
All right, middle of the pack, trying to either even things up, relatively speaking here, and or maybe take a little bit further of a lead. It sounds like overall the league so far, from the standings that I've seen, from the conversations I've heard, from the streams that I've caught up on, it sounds like things have been pretty solid matchups above and beyond anything else. Like, I mean, there's a couple of teams that are duking it out towards the top. And there's a big fight happening in these middle ranks right now. I've heard a lot of positive spirits, a lot of good competitive games being played here lately. Excited to see another one tonight. Excited to be behind the mic for one. Much appreciated to our casting manager, banging my drums, the Guardians of the Gritty, the Guardian of the Gritty himself, and for putting in so much work to make sure that these sorts of things happen. The people like Stack Monster, the people like Wes Poppin. I know I'm looking at our casting sign up sheets, and between the streaming and the talking, y'all have been doing a wonderful job. Appreciate you being out here. Looks like we got a couple of folks in chat already for the game tonight. Flatbed Fred threw us another Prime sub. Thank you for 6 months, Fred. Pulling double duty here tonight. Moderating and literally supporting the Fred carry. We'll see who's going to carry this one, as looks like our map decision is going to be for Nepal here. Always interesting to know which of the three that you're going to get for your first round dictates a lot of the flow. Are you going to wind up with, a boop-centric map? Are you going to wind up somewhere with a little bit better verticality, the high ground to play? Pretty dynamic map Nepal is. So I have a love-hate relationship with this map. What are your opinions, folks? Stack, Mac,
Nepal, I don't hate the map. It's not the worst control map. Nothing could compare to Ilios. Well, which, as we all know, well is a shit map.
I mean, it's been foretold for millennia at this point. Well is a shit map. Just get rid of it. Just throw it.
It
Let it be
sure
gone.
do be.
I mean, it's just after after all that's all well is. Now, Steck and I, we play like we're Lucio enjoyers, so all in all, I'm kind of
Yeah.
here for well. I'm here for Nepal for the same reasons, right? I'm curious if we might see any sort of like ball rollout try to happen. If there's if there's going to be some Lucio booping going on, maybe some Winston primals. We'll have
Well,
to wait until at least round 2, though.
we'll see. The name's Wolf, famously a cracked out Winston player. So you never know. He might throw some people off the
How
edge
did
here.
how did Names Wolf just fly under my radar as I was scanning through lineups here? I want to see a Winston battle of the century between Hefty and Names Wolf at some point tonight.
I don't think we will. Hefty's not historically a Winston guy. He's more of an in your he's more of a Roadhog or a Rhine type of guy.
That's
Like
true. That's true.
he's
But
the kind of
I know
guy
he's
who's
got
going to get in your face and then punish you if you don't also get in his face.
Speaking of if you want to talk about a guy that's going to get in your face and punish you if you don't do anything about it, Phantom Tones on the Reaper, Trumpet Jesus on the Reaper. Let's see him square up. Let's see what happens here. Round number 1 underway. Both teams look like they're going to posture towards the high ground. And Hefty just yeets Flatbread Fred with a fire strike and then himself into the small room. Going to get taken out pretty quickly there. Both teams down 1. Depends on if you'd favor an Anna or a Reinhardt for who's got better position here. But Juice finds a second as they're leaving the small room here. Guardians of the Gritty going to start making their way to point. But Hefty Boys grabbed the first cap. It's not going to last long, but it's something.
Sure is. That's 5 free% that could have gone to the other team.
I'm really more fearful that it's going to lead to some staggering happening here. Phantom Tons trying to consider maybe going the wide flank over to Coast, but gets spotted at the choke. Zoloft going to set up with Hefty up on the high ground with Ziggy. Trumpet Jesus has to fade out early, so that is going to give some opportunity for Hefty Boys to make some positioning changes on this high ground here, but there's still just a lot of poke pressure, but oh man, Hefty just walks at Trumpet Jesus and manages to find the kill. Juice now getting a little bit scared. Hefty gets up in his face and knocks him down. That's both DPS gone from the Guardians of the Gritty. Banging my drums, trying to keep that Discord orb alive and well on Hefty. The cap not quite completed, but eventually will flip over at 41% here. And a slow but sure cleanup, I feel like, coming our way now. Oh, Hefty making it just a little bit more brisk with that shatter. And that'll be a few more kills for the Guardians of the Gritty as they look for the regroup here.
I have to give mad props to Zoloft and Fish there. They were dumping so many healing resources into Hefty. Just having him face tank all that damage, it really makes a difference there when you can just soak up.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, between the Reinhardt armor and the shield, like if you've got a good pocket support line behind you, you're just going to get to do so much damage.
That's true. And just like your shield, your health is also a resource. Hefty's quite good at that, at managing that.
First ultimate gets popped, and it's going to break the seal for 3 coming through now, all in all. You saw the Kitsune rush. It's going to be Juice with the Deadeye that collects the first really impactful kill here on the Hefty. Both teams trading blows side by side. Hefty Boys still control the point, and it looks like it's going to be enough so far, but whew, I think that was what? A 4-5 ultimate fight, all in all said there?
A little bit messy there. But for the Hefty Boys, you should just be glad that you used all those alts and then you still won the fight.
Absolutely. I mean, Banging My Drums walks away with Transcendence. Flatbread Fred's got the Nano. So they've got a defensive and an offensive option, or they can double down on the defense, but they've got to be the aggressor here.
They're also very close to that Death Blossom, so we should see that this fight as well.
Perhaps the Nano Reaper to try to get the Blossom. Bronson Gonna throw out the Blossom first, though. Phantom Tones collects none. It'll be Fish and Ziggy with a pair on both supports, though, and that was both the ults for the Guardians. Trumpet Jesus throws down the Blossom for 3, but it's not enough in the face of Hefty.
That is a big unfortunate and fantastic ultimate. Just nothing there to follow up with.
You hate to see it. It's the best ult you'll ever get.
And you have to do it there, right?
They're all there, and you're like, I'm just gonna obliterate this. I'm by myself. Oh shit!
It's the only thing that you could do there.
Absolutely.
Really.
Oh yeah. OT. Gotta go for glory.
Just unfortunate that not quite. But instead we'll go off to Sanctum where there's a big hole.
Where my at?
Where my Lucio's at?
Where my boop at? Trumpet Jesus might be able to get a boop with the junk, right? That looks like about our only boop potential. Hefty's got that hook, maybe to try to sink somebody into the well. It's gonna be Names Wolf on a D.Va.
That's a thing that can happen.
Yeah, D.Va can get some boops. That's true.
Manifest it into existence.
Zoloft can Kitsune rush at the ledge, making someone off balance, and they run into the hole. Phantom Tones creeping around this corner. Meets Nameswolf on the D.Va early on. Has to retreat quickly. That D.Va change is going to be nice here, but Phantom Tone still collects the kill. First one's going to be on the Trumpet Jesus. He'll get traded out shortly thereafter, though. These teams are fairly even. Looks like Guardians are going to go for the long rotate back and forth. Nameswolf trying to fight Hefty in the back line while Juice tries to start pushing through Ziggy and Fish on the front corner. Eventually, somebody will touch point and start the pressure, but it's a half-hearted attempt, and it's going to cost Banging My Drums his life. Hefty falls in the process. Juice goes down to the hook, though. Now, both teams are fairly even here, though I would say Hefty Boys firmly taking control of this fight slowly but surely, and now we're kind of getting a stagger through the first quarter of the percentage. Phantom Tones can't keep Nameswolf away. Gets managed to get back into the mech. Guardians of the Gritty still don't have the capture, though. It's going to be the nano on the Nameswolf. Can he do enough with it? Phantom Tones chipping away at the health from the back. It'll be Banging My Drums caught out in the small room here. Both teams still trading blows one after another. The bomb will force off point, but there's nobody to secure the cap. Guardians of the Gritty slowly but surely getting picked apart here. And all the while, Hefty Boys continuing to up their percentages. Nameswolf going to take a dip into the abyss. Go back to spawn there, reset. Maybe get a swap.
Nope. Hefty just sitting on this high ground. He's just maintaining control of the space here. This is his map, and he wants you to know it.
Basically no ults used on the side of Hefty Boys also. They're rolling up on their 5th and final in Fish's Coalescence. Everybody else got it online. It's going to be a rough one for Guardians of the Gritty to walk into. First up, Tire from Trumpet Jesus gets matched by Ziggy's attack visor. Juice pops the Deadeye, ends the attack visor. Ziggy goes down. Flatbread into the hole. Flat bed. Sorry, Fred.
Flat bed.
And there we go. All dead in the end. That'll be Hefty Boys taking round 1 away from Guardians of the Gritty. First pot G to the captain himself. The original Hefty Boy. Oh, Trumpet Jesus hits the 3K and then gets swatted. That's the pot G? I mean, I guess it won the game, right?
Yeah.
But how you gonna make the pot G if he's shutting down the 3K with your one?
I don't even think that was the best play of that fight.
That says a lot, though. There's been a lot of solid plays tonight. There's been a lot of, I wouldn't call it hero plays, but there's been a lot of 1v2 type situations. Like, there's been a lot of small clutch moments. There's been a lot of, like, skill checking both of these teams are doing. And I think it's sometimes related to the, like, little bit of staggering that's been happening in some of these fights. But I'm really, really interested to see how map 2 is going to go. Everybody's a little bit warmed up now. Hopefully the team's got their juices flowing. They've sort of figured it out. They've had their moment of like, all right, we can't do this again. We got to do this again. Whatever it is, I have full faith that Guardians of the Gritty might bounce back here for map number 2. Stack, you're popping off tonight. The 53-month sub and the biddy.
Yeah, the 1 bit.
God.
Here is 1 cent, guys. Let's put it to good use.
For your 1 bit, uh, you can have 1 boop.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. You're very
Hello
welcome.
there.
Hello there. The soundboard, a wonderful addition to Discord. Finally, there's a reason for them to sponsor us, so that I don't have to pay for Nitro anymore. Discord, you heard that.
Yeah. But we will move on to map 2. The choice of what map type will fall to Guardians of the Gritty. They'll get to choose between escort, hybrid, or push map. And then the other team will choose the individual map.
I'll be very curious at the end of this season what the pick rate is for push maps. Like, as far as, where historically do they get picked?
Yeah. I don't think our team has played on New Queen Street all year, all season.
Yeah.
We usually, when we get a choice, we pick Coliseo.
Generally speaking, I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Push has slowly but surely grown on me. It's a game mode that fits very well in an organized environment like PMAOWL.
It does.
But its exploits just get exploited more in that environment as well. If you get caught out, if you don't regroup, it makes for a rough time. I mean, that's true anywhere, but it gets even more detrimental on those sorts of maps. Always a thing that you got to consider, and I think it's a big part of the team communication. I think it's something that I'm looking to see Guardians of the Gritty do just a little bit better on map 2. Hefty boys, I think right now, no notes. I don't know what Mac. I'm curious what the people at home through your eyes have seen so far. I haven't seen like any crazy flank ults. I don't think there's been anything like too wild. Pretty good clean Overwatch. You got any thoughts so far about it?
Yeah. I think on paper, I feel like these teams are pretty even, but I feel like the Hefty boys just got the advantage on that first map. I don't know if it was the comp they were running or if somebody is just feeling it today, but it looked kind of one-sided to me.
Yeah, and like by the end of Nepal, it definitely felt like it was just a little bit of, okay, throw bodies at point, or don't throw enough bodies at point. But the capture difficulties hurt a little bit. But I know what you mean there. That like things are matching up well on paper. Like, they're matching up well in the kill feed. It's a little bit tough now and again for me that I'll glance at the kill feed to try to get an eye on whatever I don't actually have my camera on at the moment. And it's red, it's blue, it's red, it's blue, it's red, it's blue. I'm like, okay, everybody's popping off right now. And then the fight ends, and Hefty Boy's still on the point. So they're doing something right here. See if they can keep it up for Route 66. Appreciate your input, Mac.
It definitely feels like this is Hefty's game to lose. Hefty is one of those players that's very much capable of just taking command of a dense situation, especially like we saw there on the first point in Nepal. And he's just able to get in your head by playing just a little bit unconventionally. He'll get in your face. He'll swing that hammer real big at you, and that can rattle some teams if they're not properly prepared for it. If their comms aren't impeccably tight, it's a tough challenge to go against, but it is a beatable challenge.
Absolutely. And with the escort coming up for Guardians of the Gritty, I think that there's a little more opportunity to run away from that scary hammerman if that's the necessary course of action. But you gotta wind up on card at some point. I'll be most watching to see Guardians take space and maintain distance, I think. I think that's going to be their best option so far here. Looks like Names Wolf early pick is Diva, Juice early on the Genji. I don't trust most of what I see from Hefty Boys, but Hefty has in fact rolled out on ball all the way to the card at least. I suppose I stand corrected. Phantom Tones on the OG Omnic turret. Gonna pull out some Bastion here, armed with Ziggy on the Soldier. Makes for a pretty deadly spam comp. Hefty's in the train early, maybe gonna look for a slam to try to get the early pick. And there's picks to be had. Nameswolf's got the defense matrix, but Trumpet Jesus on the Soldier has, the heal pad. Phanto can have that escape with the Moira. But Phantom Tones just gets run over. Turret formed into Juice's Reflect, all the while Nameswolf already with the D-Matrix. That's a rough early pick here. Guardians of the Gritty coming out strong. Hefty slamming in on Cart and starting to cause some chaos with the ball, but will it be enough?
I've heard it said that running the Genji doesn't do much against the Bastion if the Bastion's paying attention. I from what I know about Phantom Tones and what must have happened in that moment, a small lapse.
I played some comp games recently with Bronson, and sometimes the game was keep Phantom Tones aware that he's playing Overwatch. So that might have been the case here. Phantom Tones fading away from the cart, probably about to die in the backline here. Nameswolf finally puts him down off on the bottom side. Got scary for a moment there.
Just a little too deep, buddy.
No sleep on Hefty. Does get the anti-nade collected from Flatbed Fred. Nameswolf trying to put pressure on this high ground. Does get the nano to support some of this kill potential. Forces Ziggy away. Zolof's going to have to TP back towards point where Hefty has laid out the minefield. It's going to keep some of the Guardians off point, but not too much here as the cart drifts on around our first corner past Big Earl's. Hefty still antied, still pretty healthy though. Probably going to get out no problem here. Back to his team. Mr. Trifecta might try to hit the Valk on the way in. Could see that potential. Yep, there we go. Valken on the point. Trumpet Jesus pops the visor and shoots the Moth right out of the air here. Phantom Tones forced to use the fade on point for a moment as well until he meets an untimely demise. Smooth moves so far from Guardians of the Gritty. Juice pops the blade to probably clutch this one out, and that should be plenty. But I think so far we've seen what we wanted to.
Absolutely. Guardians of the Gritty, they're playing in a very focused manner. They're organized, and they're together. They're very clearly communicating at a high level right now.
Flatbed Fred clearly been harassed a little bit, I think, by the ball, but comfortable just walking away. Couldn't from that one. Phantom Tones pops the Death Blossom, but it'll be Ziggy who collects the kill onto the Ana to start things off, but two in quick succession. Guardians of the Gritty trying to roll it down streets. Ziggy running away from a Moira Orb to little success as Juice is in his face as well. And that means Cart's going to keep right on rolling. I love playing the ball on a push map to stall Cart. Hefty just not quite getting enough done on it right now, I think, honestly, though.
No, the DPS of Guardians of Gritty, they're doing a very good job of just making it annoying for him to do that. They're the Soldier, the Genji, able to turn around quickly and shoot at long range.
Yeah, I mean, right there. Hefty went for the slam on the top. Ziggy pops the nano visor to try to catch out Nameswolf, and they just kind of walk away. Getting dangerously low, but all in all survivable. Trumpet Jesus does go down early to Mr. Trifecta, who swapped over onto the Moira now from the Mercy previously. It looks like Hefty Boys are probably going to regain control of this fight slowly but surely.
Oh no!
Wolf sits on Phantom Tones. The Rima kill might take this one.
Oh, that's rough.
Hefty gets nanoed into the backline, but can't do much with it. Oh, sorry. No nano, but the adaptive shields. Trying to get something done. It'll be Juice with the blade, Mr. Trifecta with the coal. Trifecta grabs two and then gets taken down.
Oh, we have the counter Cole. I think that was the nanoed counter Cole.
I mean, just do it better, you know?
Yeah.
Phantom Tone's trying to put down some DPS. Hefty and E are going to force them back off point, but here comes a pile of the Gritty Gang. Hefty gets slept and then rolls away from a sticky situation back here. Slowly but surely, Guardians of the Gritty are getting it done. Big opening kill from Trumpet Jesus here. Mr. Trifecta goes down fast. Phantom Tones antied the Suzu just in time to keep him alive. Big early kills from Hefty Boys shut down what looked like a nice counterattack building there.
And these meaty, chaotic fights we've been seeing, these are the kind of things that the Hefty Boys thrive in. Having the Wrecking Ball and the Reaper just kind of floating around, shooting at whatever comes their way, and then just backing out as they see fit. It's chaotic.
Oh, absolutely. You can see Trumpet Jesus made the not Trumpet Jesus, made the swap onto the May, trying to maybe disrupt Hefty a bit more, block off Phantom Tone's escape routes. The wall unsuccessful in this first fight, but it does buy some time. Look at Hefty just slowly rolling away, hoping that Trumpet Jesus can't catch up. Forced to pop the minefield into the back line. They're going to K-rush through the front. Pop the visor as well from Ziggy. That's 3 out of Hefty Boys. They will win this one ultimately, it looks like. But that was a lot of ults in not the final fight. Nothing going to be online except for maybe a Blossom, maybe a Coalescence. Nameswolf's going to be able to pop a bomb. Phanto's going to have a Coalescence. There goes the bomb for the remech, it looks like. Nameswolf stays alive to be able to be in the fight, but I think you just take the respawn there. You had time.
Yeah, you were pretty close to spawn doors. But now they got to fight this on point, and it's going to get real hairy here.
Coalescence to do it if need be from Phantom Tones, currently trying to build up the Blossom, not far away from it. Nameswolf's used a lot of DM trying to get up in there. Phantom Tones has to hit the fade, but he's got the Blossom. Here it comes. 3, 2, 1. Time to hit Q once he goes beyond the wall. No, still holding. Patience, patience, patience. As the high noon comes out of juice for nothing.
Here it is. He
Blossom
finds one, but he goes down straight after.
Still
It's
a brawl
hairy and
on
messy.
point. Coalescence from Trifecta finally able to come through a little bit late. I don't think that was because it took too long to build. I think that was just good patience. All the ultimate usage here is going to do it. By the end of the fight, Hefty Boys managed to pop 3, and Guardians of the Gritty get pushed off.
A very good hold there on Street's face for the Hefty Boys. It's always very hard to hold on point 2 of these Discord maps. But they were able to pivot their playstyle in just the right way to make it worth it.
A respectable push and a solid hold to cap them from 2. I feel like if things had gone to a third point, we would have had to see some pretty big comp switches out of Hefty Boys. Whereas it seemed like the only changes that really got made. I mean, Juice ran over to the Cassidy at one point by the end. Mr. Trifecta bounced off of the Mercy onto a Moira, and I think to great success. Flatbed Fred. Every time, man. Flatbread. I'm sure I'm not the only one. He decided to go for the Baptiste, which I think is a solid pick into Hefty's ball, especially. I think having the hamster just booping you around, it's nice to be able to jump away. You avoid the slams, you avoid the knockback, you avoid the mines. It's a good counter pick there. The window's still going to be pretty useful, especially with Nameswolf on a Sigma now. And the Sigma shield probably going to be useful as Ziggy looks for this early pop with the Widow.
So what you're saying is that it's losable for both teams.
Absolutely. Coin flip Overwatch. At its finest. Ooh, Ziggy gets caught out early on the train as Juice collects the kill on Phantom Tones and then forces the Widow back down. It's a slow, pokey early fight. Juice is brave, though. Takes the health pack. Doesn't use the health field. They wall Hefty. This is going to be the end of the hamster. Early picks aplenty for Juice and company on the Guardians of the Gritty. getting it done. Nameswolf just kind of chilling on the high ground. They know that Ziggy's just cut off from these angles. Like, I mean, the Widow's a great pick, but it's just tough if you're not quite capitalizing on the slams from Hefty. And Trumpet Jesus with the May has made a big difference right there. Trumpet Jesus makes the biggest difference. Grabs the hit onto Ziggy's Widow here. Guardians, solid defense so far.
And that's the true beauty of the May pick. You get that close range control with the slowing of your primary fire and the ice wall. But the icicles at the long range are still a very powerful tool.
Oh yeah, May is a sniper. Projectile sniper, but gets the job done. Trumpet Jesus might need a little bit of a bailout here on the coast. Nameswolf does not want to leave the high ground, but thinking he might have to save his May. There's 4 there, though. Hefty just manages to find a crack in the wall to escape. Phantom Tongue's now going to be onto the Soldier trying to counter Juice. Going to be very far behind on Visor, though. That's probably going to be our first ult, and it is! From the very beginning of the road, Juice finds 2 with the Visor. First ult of the game. Successful conversion here so far for the Soldier.
They'll have 3, almost 4 ults ready for this next fight.
Hefty boys are going to mirror them. Well, they're going to mirror the DPS line anyway. Soldier May back at him. Hefty finds the early pick onto Juice, but is now stuck with Trumpet Jesus. Nobody quite around to help convert the kill onto the Wrecking Ball, though. But just going to be a nuisance for the time being. Blizzard onto point, finds Trifecta. No Zen for the Hefty boys. Phanto pops the Coalescence, trying to keep Nameswolf up, but not quite enough. There's still bodies here. There's still a fight going on, but it looks like slow and certain demise for the Guardians of the Gritty. Should be able to get a panic fight at the end if they want it. Maybe not even a panic fight. There's a good chunk of distance on this card still.
Yes, if Guardians of the Gritty, they time things right, they'll have another full contest here with some ultimates.
Looks like Nameswolf going to opt to go for low ground to lead things, which does mean Phantom Tones gets to have the high ground for the Visor, though. Kitsune Rush going to be the first to pop. Nameswolf looking for a target, can't quite find it. Opts for Phantom Tones, lifts him into the sky for the Visor. And that'll be enough. Well done, well countered there. Juice is going to try to stall it out, grabs the Mega, trying to use Hefty like a health pack, but just a slower death here for the Reaper. And that will be first point with about 20 seconds to spare. So a very good hold for the Guardians, facing down a little less than a 3-minute time bank to stop just over half progress.
Not a lot of ults here for Guardians of the Gritty. They just have that amplification matrix. They're going to have to make it count here.
If Flatbed Fred, every time, can manage to pick somebody out with it, I think it's perfectly fine to trade 1-for-1. Maybe even to try to hit Mr. Trifecta off the cart. Oh, that's what I was hoping to beat out. The Transcendence comes through, but just a little bit late to save Ziggy. Hefty's walled off. Hefty's deleted here. And now comes that one ult. The field going to come through from Fred. Just as a little bit of extra insurance. I'm fine with it. There's 4 more ults soon to come online, if not already, for the Guardians. Yeah. They're going to have to face down a Blizzard. That's about it. Oh, a good rock from Nameswolf means Hefty's going to die for this, probably. Yes, indeed. Tank goes down early for Hefty boys, and this is what it looks like. Juice hits a 2K on the Blossom. 1 ult for several kills. And stagger fight after stagger fight, this is how the Guardians pull out the win here. 1.5 minutes to do it.
Yes, not a lot of time left. The alt economy looking more or less even right now. This could go either way.
If Ziggy can manage to grab a few with the Blizzard, it'll be solid. Trumpet Jesus goes into the caves trying to make the hero play. Does cut off a support and Ziggy. Mr. Trifecta can't get through it. But just a little bit of patience means the Hefty boys get to walk in now. And the Guardians of the Gritty get to walk into Hefty's mines. They combo the Blizzard and the minefield, and it'll be plenty. Mr. Trifecta doing duty on cart to try to make sure that keeps rolling. Soon, Nameswolf throws the lift out. I'm a little uncertain about that one. Might want that one back, but I do understand that you're just trying to make something happen for the final moments here. Trumpet Jesus hits the ice block just a little bit off of the point. It's not quite going to be enough to stall. The Maywall from Ziggy locks out Juice. Hefty Boys take home map 2, but man, that was a nail biter from the Guardians of the Gritty.
Sure was.
Pot G number 2 for Hefty. Is this going to be that? Yep. This is going to be minefield for 2? No. Just, oh.
Yeah, for 2.
Oh.
That's an advanced minefield kill.
That was really nice timing. The second Trumpet Jesus popped out of that block, he just got blown away. Man, that feels bad. That feels bad. I would like to compliment Trumpet Jesus though. Made the swap to May, made a big difference, I think, in the attack, especially. And I was a little bit skeptical. I was a little bit unsure. Didn't feel like Hefty was quite getting enough done on the Wrecking Ball to merit the hard counter pick. Well, not, I shouldn't say that May is a hard counter, but I do feel like that is a pick that was definitely made to counter Hefty. But Trumpet Jesus was able to do it quite well. Converted quite a few kills with Names, Wolf, and Juice to make sure that the hamster wasn't able to just run through the backline. And ultimately, we saw Ziggy pick up the Ice Princess as well here. I don't know why I just called May an Ice Princess, but I'm sure it fits. Overall, a much closer game, I think, than we saw in Nepal. And if Guardians of the Gritty are able to continue the way they are, we could very well see this game go to a map number 5. However, I mean, Hefty Boys so far have managed to continue to pull out victory after victory. We'll see if any swaps manage to make their way into a big impact here. Looks like we're going to see Mr. Trifecta go ahead and take a swap for Fish. Trumpet Jesus going to sub out for... how did Trumpet Jesus move? Banging My Drums is now on DPS. Did Jonas sit last game?
Yes.
Am I a fool? I did.
Yes.
I see.
You are a fool.
Well, in a man's shoes, but that's okay. Options coming through currently for hybrid. I would like to give a shout out to our illustrious games manager, Flame Chaser, who has wonderfully made our map rotations and put a lot of effort into making this league run, and I appreciate it. And is going to take just a little bit of shit for giving us 2 hybrid maps for this week. Rialto, fun fact, not a hybrid map, although it does feel like a hybrid map, right? First point basically feels like you're fighting on the front corner, and then you're just like fighting while the cart rolls under the bridge. I would enjoy a Rialto hybrid map. I think that'd be a good change. Blizzard, hire me.
Looks like Numbani will be taking the place of the wrongly added map in our pool.
Okay. Numbani's a solid replacement for a Rialto hybrid. I can get behind that.
Yeah. They've at least finally fixed the attack spawn, so it's no longer been rampaged by Doomfist.
Excellent. Paricio, the pick. I assume Guardians of the Gritty have the pick here.
Yes. And that is the call, Pariso.
Good map. A very good map. And a map that I think does well for the Guardians of the Gritty as they have currently just played Route 66. I think that if we should happen to see something a little bit control oriented, like the May out of Banging My Drums. If he can take Trumpet Jesus's mantle here, a good opportunity to try to slow this game down just a little bit. I think it makes the Wrecking Ball a little bit less viable, the Winston a little bit more enticing for Hefty, possibly. Reinhardt, a perfectly valid choice for most of this map, I think, as well. I'm very curious to see how Names Wolf might shift things on the tank line. Is he going to try to match something with the frontline fight? Is he going to stick with the Diva's mobility? Is he going to stick with the Sigma's poke potential? Very, very curious to find out here as we enter Parisio. It'll be Guardians of the Gritty on the defensive, the Hefty Boys with the attack first. 10 seconds till teams unlock. What do you think's coming out the door, Stick?
I think we're going to see a Wrecking Ball again.
Think we'll go pressure back point?
I think they're doing a good job with that aggressive pushing with the tank.
Phantom Tones has not learned the Bastion lesson. Juice has made the correct choice as well with the Genji again. Let's see how round 2 plays out, folks. There's a teleporter Bastion in the midst, and I'm curious if it's going to go horribly wrong into an Onanade, a Sleep Dart, a Junkrat Trap, a Junkrat Mine, or a Genji Deflect. Or
yes,
Sigma Rock.
This has the recipe for a total team wipe in 4 seconds kind of disaster.
It absolutely does.
If a series of unfortunate events happen.
And it could be either team. That's the beauty of it. It could be red team or blue team that just vaporize in a moment.
We love to see it.
Where does the teleporter go? This is the key to it all. Ziggy yet to drop the TP. Phantom Tons already uses the turret for him. Hefty will grab the first kill, so no reflect online. The teleporter going to the low ground. Oh, no.
Ziggy's on point. They're going to get a tick.
Yes, indeed.
They got a tick without even having to fight.
It was not a 4-second team wipe. Oh, but Names Wolf grabs a good kill on Ziggy as Flatbed Fred grabs Hefty. It might be stabilizable. Stabilitable. Fish trying to get out. Names Wolf just misses the rock onto the corner. Can Fish hit the corner in time? If the mortar escapes, it's big. And indeed,
that is big.
Fish lives to fight another day. Now that means Hefty's able to charge on point with both supports in his pocket. The teleporter from Ziggy into the back line. They're just fighting the stragglers first, leaving Fish to duel Names Wolf.
It's
an interesting assault here.
A bold strategy.
And it, I guess,
paid
paid
to be
off?
working?
Question mark? Juice trying to farm from the top rope, does kill Hefty, but he's down 3 of his teammates, finds Phantom Tone. Ziggy now at the teleporter up to the top, and it'll be enough to shut down the soldier. As Flatbread. Fred just said on point, like, what do I do?
Not much you can do. You just try your best.
That was such a wacky fight. Neither team came out drastically ahead.
Every time I see the Hefty Boys, I'm surprised. Because they keep showing me things that I've never seen before. And I've been playing this game for 6 years.
I feel like the comms have to be Hefty going, hey, let's go kill that person. And Zoloff going, oh, geez, as she teleports to go chase. Chase
I mean, you're probably not wrong.
The window trying to find Fish. The fadeaway just in time. Juice gets shut down. The wall comes through to follow as both teams trade out DPS. It'll be Guardians of the Gritty left with none as Hefty pops the primal and now trying to bat away Names Wolf from the point. Oh, Fred. Fred gets taken for a ride on the back wall. Nothing Names Wolf can do but watch as Hefty slaps him around. Names Wolf, don't get demicked. A little bit scary there. Never lost the armor. Plenty of time. That's a good tempo call from Names Wolf just to try to keep the turrets down. Hefty does find another early kill as the Kitsune rush hits. But they've left cart. Fish staying attentive. Not going to give too much time for any sort of regroup from Guardians. Now I think it's time for swaps.
They
Oh,
are
banging my
in there
drums.
deep at the spawn door.
Oh yeah, banging my drums did not appreciate that. Decided to just yeet the tire to rid himself of the Ziggy problem. Does find 3 all in all so far. Zoloft, Hefty, and Ziggy all fall to the Junkrat. Banging my drums putting down some work here, but it'll cost his life eventually. Might have forgotten that the spawn doors are close here. Paricio, I know, baits me a lot. Feels like this second point spawn door is farther than it is, but you gotta be careful. We'll switch off the rat onto the Reaper here to help with the Hefty problem. Whew! Speaking of which, that is some monkey be gone already there outside spawn door. The car wash starting to fry. Nameswolf has to abandon the high ground fight, but Banging My Drums wants to stay in it. Nameswolf trying to keep an eye on Phantom Tones, but he's going to run down Juice in the backline, finds the kill, and another. Both DPS gone for Guardians of the Gritty. Means that Hefty boys are going to have a little bit more free reign. A good remake bomb from Nameswolf sitting on the bubble corner. Not quite enough, though. Gets taken down before we can hop back in suit. And Hefty boys are looking down a fat time bank if they can get away clean from this fight. Banging My Drums tried to get to point with Blossom, just got doinked by Zoloft. With the help of Ziggy, Phantom Tones is going to blossom for good measure. Nameswolf is on point, just stalling away, but it's not enough. Couldn't get into the fight. Hefty boys grab 3 minutes and change. Solid attack round.
They seem to know exactly what they wanted to do pretty much that whole time, which is commendable on an escort map.
It certainly felt like they just had control of tempo the entire push. That first fight, I think if Guardians of the Gritty had managed to come out like with a solid wipe, like if they had managed to come out with an ultimate without that fight just extending into the next push, could have been a really, really big snowball point that just wound up in Hefty Boy's favor. Good persistence, good way to keep alive through the fights. There's a lot of spice, though. I'm very curious how this attack is going to shake out. Feels like Nameswolf has wanted to do a little bit more than he's been able to with the D.Va so far tonight. Right place, right time often, but often just a little bit too late.
Well, then it really wasn't the right time.
I mean, they're in time with the defense matrix, but not enough of it left, so they die anyway. You know, those sorts of little decisions that have just cost enough, and or the amount of pressure that's been put down. I mean, they say that Hefty's on a Doomfist that's just going to go annoy the backline even more, like he's already done tonight. Is Nameswolf going to keep up, or is he going to try to go dive the high ground?
We'll see. Flatbed Fred on the Zenyatta. I do like this play, enabling his teammates, doing good damage himself. We'll see how this goes, but we got an opening pick from Juice onto Phantom Tones. That's going to allow Guardians of the Gritty to push forward. The name's Wolf, taking some high ground. Just pushing Hefty backwards a little bit.
Ooh, it's going to
He's
cost
going
the
to get
mech.
T-Mech'd.
It's a little bit rough. Slows down the push substantially. Hefty grabs a kill on to Nameswolf as well, so no remech in the near future. Going to have to be a bit of a regroup. Fred gets the res and Juice with another pick. Phantom Tones has just played Respawn Simulator so far. I like this Hanzo. Solid matchup to slow down the Reaper push. High ground strong right now, though, Steck. Look at this. 3 different, effectively snipers just posted up on different angles from this high ground.
But it's not going to matter because Juice is throwing logs.
It's true. Fred down on the ground trying to avoid Hefty. Oh, it'll be Phanto instead. That's the target. Now Fred, as the seismic slam comes through, Hefty collects Juice's tag here. Phanto does grab the res, does get the remix squish. Phantom Tones is done with this one.
Second one of the night.
Respawn Simulator for Bronson. Somebody get this man a belly rub.
Oh boy.
Capture continues slowly but surely. There's the first tick. Trying to run
The amount
down
of ults
Ziggy.
being used, it gives me great anxiety here. Because I can't tell who's winning the fight.
I think it's still going to be pretty solidly Guardians of the Gritty. The respawns are in their favor. Hefty's about to die, and Dean, Fred pops the Transcendence. A little bit unfortunate there, but I wasn't watching health bars enough to see the necessity level. Either way, we'll trade it for the cap.
Very true. In 4 minutes on the clock still. So a very healthy time break. We could see both teams finishing with some big boy time banks here.
I'm here for it. Every map has gotten to be a closer and closer match. And I think if Guardians of the Gritty want a slugfest, this is the point to really decide it. I'm looking for Juice to not get caught out by Hefty here. Does manage to get the fade away. No shots to collect anything of substance on the way out. Fires the dragons down main. Phantom Tone's going to fire the Deadeye from up top. Gets run down by Nameswolf in the process. Good trades thus far, but better positioning for Hefty Boys, it would appear. Nameswolf trying to deal with the Doomfist in the backline. The Discord Orb making it a bit easier, but Hefty's just grabbing all of these Afuda, grabbing all of the shots from Fish. Not quite enough to secure the kills right now. I would expect we're about to see a Nano Doomfist. Oh, a K-Rush off the high ground. Not good for too much. Banging My Drums is going to clear him away and it'll cost his life in the process, but Nameswolf does convert one.
And here's the Nano Doomfist. Just clearing a path.
Yeah.
And he finds 2 kills with that.
Solid,
and a team
play.
fight win.
They used both ultimates quite well for the side of Hefty Boys. Ooh, and another early pick here. I say early. Might have been late from the last fight, but Ziggy's going to make sure Phanto stays out of this one for a while. Banging My Drums as well. Tried to make the Sombra swap. I don't know if I love it into Doom. Honestly, for Doom, I like a little bit more burst potential. There's an opportunity there. Hefty just trying to bait cooldowns. Just kind of posturing in the high ground here. Faking some charge punches. It'll cost him dearly, though. Looks like the hack came through just in time with the Discord Orb, and he blew up.
That's what you play the Sombra for.
Good Transcendence, timed with a good push. Nameswolf gets antied, though. This is very, very rough for him. Can't make any use of that Transcendence healing, and Flatbed Fred gets run down at the end of it. Hefty's back in time to lead the charge for the counterattack. Probably enough with the D-Mech here. Banging My Drums can't find the hack on Hefty. Has to teleport out. Juice forces the slam from Hefty, who gets 2 in retaliation.
No, Juice, no.
The Doomfist is nuts tonight from Hefty.
Hefty looking like the Hefty of the past.
Did
where
Hefty
he
just
dominates everyone?
Did Hefty just predict the translocator? Or did he know?
I didn't see it.
Mac, I think you were on him. Did you happen to see?
I'm going to assume he predicted it.
He most definitely saw that throw.
Ah, even better.
Still, good play.
Teed him up. Teed him up. Hefty just slamming right now on the Doom. A tough fight coming into the corridor, though. He's got the whole team for backup. The anti's huge! Banging My Drums collects the final blow, and now Nameswolf gets to go on the aggressive. The massive hack shuts down Phantom Tone's Deadeye immediately. Banging My Drums goes, I'm the captain now. I put the team on my back.
And that's the kind of push that they needed. They needed to win one. And they needed to win it here. Now they've got some momentum here. They can push with this.
Get opportunity to end with time. Love to see it. Ooh, Phantom Tone's purple, trying to escape. Gonna be able to make it away. Will Juice get caught off on high ground here? Ziggy's trying to fight for it. Got a little bit more utility in the ranged fight, but Juice has Fred with the pocket from Cart. Hefty trying to come up here and shut this down. Nameswolf joins in as well. It's a battle for high ground. Phantom Tons looking for a bit of the flank angle, putting some pressure onto Fred, forcing Fanto to turn around and help as well. Hefty boys are making a good kill box right now, separating the team, forcing them to look in different directions. Fanto finds the first kill. Hefty gets a second. Solid dismantling long fight from Hefty boys. They know they don't have to stop Cart. They just have to stop the fight. If they can stop the full progress, they win map 3 and send Guardians of the Gritty home packing.
And as a secondary option, Hefty Boys, they know that if they're able to stall this out until at least overtime, then they will have the opportunity for another attack, and the other team will not. Something that they're probably thinking about, but they're going to try and win this here.
Couple ults come out from the Guardians of the Gritty trying to keep Carter rolling, but there's 5 stacking up for Hefty boys soon. Hefty, did he get hacked out of the... He ulted, but I never saw the slam. Anyhow, Kitsune Rush, Visor. It's an ult pinata coming down. Who will live long enough to use there? Ziggy gets slept by Fred. Nice dart might be enough. It's OT. No time for the attack, but it will be drawable. Nameswolf has the remech bomb on the ledge in good position. Zoloft manages to teleport away from danger. And the bomb. Hefty at half health, trying to get something done. Fred antied, taken down as his Nameswolf. Hefty hacked again, but it's just Fred and Baby Diva on point. Juice trying to come in with something. Hefty's at 1. Breathe on him. Not enough.
Oh,
Hefty boys take it down 3-0. Guardians of the Gritty sent packing this week.
holy cow. Truly was the Hefty show. But not him at the play of the game. This is the name's Wolf instead.
No clean sweep tonight on the pot G. Oh, just a feast on the high ground there of squishies once the Doomfist is gone.
We love to see it. The Diva 3K.
Yes, indeed. GG's all around. Honestly, a much tighter match than a 3-0 reflects. Very, very...
A great game for supports.
Yes. Oh my gosh. A very good game for supports. I feel like we talked and talked and talked, at least I talked and talked and talked about tanks and DPS. And I know that the reason I was able to is because the supports, they were a high priority target for Hefty. They were doing a high amount of healing output to keep their tanks alive. They had some very good combo plays to try to set up their DPS for some good ultimates. They had bodyguards on them. They had some nice flanks that made some plays happen. The anti-nades changed a lot of fights by the end of this one. Shout out supports. Hug your local support. Endorse your local support. Tune in tomorrow night for more Overwatch. Give Bronson a belly rub. Tell AJ he smells good. And take this power away from me.